Hey guys, how's it going? Welcome to Hold the Ball, or for footy content, it's going to be known as Don't Argue Podcast from now on. Look, and saying that though, before thanks again for tuning in. Apologies. Well, look, we're going to get straight into it. This is my review here of your team, the Adelaide Crows. So the Adelaide Crows finished 10th. They had 11 wins, 12 losses, and their leading goal kicker there was Taylor Walker. Look, Adelaide Football Club coming to this year, I really think a lot of people had a lot of expectation for them to make the 8. Considering how they sort of were last season, they got some new additions as well, particularly in Rankin, who I thought was really, was a really good addition to their squad. Now, generally speaking, Adelaide, the Crows started off their season, I think, not too shabby at all, actually. I thought for mine they were actually decent, so despite the 2 losses earlier on, they wanted to have a string of wins, 4 games in a row from round 3 to round 6, which was really good. Unfortunately, they lost their way there against Collingwood and Geelong. However, went back to St Kilda, then lost to the Bulldogs and Lions, then lost again, then won against West Coast, and so on and so forth. I really think, despite that, despite their season, it was definitely marred by a lot of inconsistency, but I also think at the same time as well, a lot of lapses of concentration. There were moments there in the game, or in some games, where you could argue that, had they did this, it probably would have been better. For example, their 2-point loss against Collingwood would have been a good example. Their 14-point loss against GWS, Melbourne. There were just moments there where I think they could have, really cemented their spot there in the 8. However, it just wasn't meant to be. But in saying that though, you can see this is a squad here that's definitely developing. A big fan of Rochelle, for example. That quickly say this though. Obviously, we all know what happened in their second to last round, their game against the Swans, right, where they lost by 1 point. Very controversial. It was absolute robbery, one of the all-time robberies, I think, in AFL. And that cost them their spot. Ultimately though, at the end, it was just a combination of everything. But yeah, sadly for them, that robbery there wasn't great. However, in saying that though, looking into next year, they've got a really good, healthy squad and should hopefully make some inroads there. And just quickly before I finish off as well, they're 2,193 points for and 1,877 points against. But yeah, that's about it. See you guys next time. Hold the ball.